Hey everyone, your favorite St. Louis mortgage nerd. It's Ben Treat here, and if you've already watched the video prior, I've brought back Jared for another interview because, we talked about some serious stuff, some business stuff. Not everything has to be that way, and something that him and I both talked about on our company retreat after quite a few beers. We talked about kind of our experience being in competitive sports and how it helped shape us, helped, really affect who we were as people. And so I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about that because we both had those winter sport backgrounds, which I'm just going to put out there, and it might be a little biased, but the winter sports, we're a different breed of athletes. And I mean, you might agree with me on that, but
Absolutely.
there's a level of toughness involved in a lot of those winter sports that you don't necessarily see in a lot of the others. And so me being in wrestling, you being in hockey, just wanted you to take some time who'd you play hockey for, and to what degree did you do it?
Yeah, I've only played high school hockey, but I came in and did a lot of hockey growing up, and I was looking at playing at the next step up, but at the same time I got an opportunity to work with a Division I baseball team to work on their baseball field and travel with them, kind of learn a different aspect of it. I played baseball growing up too, played all sports growing up. Hockey was obviously my first love, but it kind of took me away from it. Obviously couldn't pass up the opportunity of doing that with that baseball squad there, but it was amazing. It taught me a lot, and not only just like you mentioned in the beginning here, not only just about sports and connecting and getting out there and being active, but just overall life lessons too.
Yeah. And I mean, wrestling wise, had my fun, did a little bit of collegiate wrestling, ended up doing what a lot of every wrestler's dream is, I went to school to learn how to cook food, because there's so many times where we're sitting in a hotel and literally watching the Food Network, just tears running down our face because we haven't made weight yet. So that really inspired a lot of that. But I think traveling competitively, I made the Illinois national team for freestyle and Greco before, and just doing a lot of that traveling, I think gave me a lot of perspective on seeing so many different cities, seeing different kids from different states. And not only that, I think the competitiveness of I have to win. I need to, I want to win. Not that I have to, but in teenage mind, it was I had to.
Oh, yeah.
I think that really helps, especially when it comes to this on our side of things, because when it comes down to it, we're selling ourselves. But, we're trying to make sure that people like us. That there's a reason why they choose us versus them. And the same thing in any sport where you're trying to make the team. You make your case as to why and so we're used to that competitive environment. We want to win. We want to do better. And I think the other big aspect really was being coachable, which I think is a huge thing for anyone who wants to grow in any field. And I mean,
especially in this industry.
Yeah.
You have to be willing to grow and adapt, because things are so ever changing.
Yeah. I mean, just think about it 2 years ago. We were looking at rates in the high 2s, low 3s, depending on credit scores. Well, we sure as shit aren't there. That's not the case. Do you think those same tactics we were using back then were going to work? Or, I mean, that's why we have our sales managers. That's why we have our people giving us coachable advice. And you could be like a lot of the athletes that you saw that had the potential to do it, but never wanted to listen, never grew.
Yep.
Or you can get coached, you can grow. And I think being open to that kind of criticism, even though it's hard to look inward and deal with, I think competitive sports really did a huge thing for me in being able to take that in and not just take it personal, but okay, these are things I need to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I totally agree with that, and another side of that too. I mean, probably from your side of things, you're in an individual sport, but you're on a team, so that's kind of an interesting thing in itself. When I was in hockey, that was a very team aspect game. Yeah. And, obviously your individual performance was based off of how well your team would do sometimes. But at the same time, it also showed me of what working with the team, the importance of it, which is huge in today's, in today's market with the way that things are right now. I mean, in the mortgage industry where we're at, First Integrity, we have the greatest team to be a part of. I think the communication's great, the style is great. It's like playing for a great hockey team again, pretty much.
Yeah, and honestly, this is the one thing I've found in almost every great sports team is you have a coach who is not just going to be hands off and is very much involved in your growth in getting better. And that's the one thing I can definitely say with like Joe, Eric, Chris, all three. If they are not running around for the millionth meeting that they have, they always make sure to, if they're there, that they're present. And if you had a question with like their expertise, it would be like, do you think this marketing idea is even worthwhile? And they'll kind of be like, well, from my experience, here's kind of what I've gotten from this.
Oh yeah.
And just being able to give very clear, honest feedback to the point that like Chris, I have probably the longer relationship with because we came from the same bank over here. But having Chris to be able to look at me, he's like, are you really doing everything you should be? Like, I know you said you've done this, but is there more you can do? Right. And he's not doing it in the sense of putting me down or not
just holding you accountable.
Not disregarding what I've done. It's just like, hey, I wanted you to do all of this. Mm-hmm. You've only done 90% of it. He's like, if you really want to see that next step, do this. Yeah. And I know a lot of people will just go, well, who the is he? But I could take that and realize he's not doing it to put me down. He's doing it of like, this will get you to where I believe you can be. And being able to take that kind of criticism, I don't think it's hard to learn that in other extracurricular activities. You don't always have that competitive side of just constantly, let's do better and better and better. You don't always see that in every extracurricular.
Yeah, I mean, it's very apparent, that they strive off our success. They love to see us be successful, and that speaks volumes. It's awesome to be a part of.
Yeah. I just kind of want to take some time to get to know you because we did share that, the competitive sports background.
Yeah, absolutely.
And kind of gives a little bit more information about ourselves to y'all. So, if you guys have any questions or when you see this video, comment any sport or any program that you were in that really helped make you ready for your future career field, whether it's competitive sports. I know that even theater, in a lot of cases, theater and band, don't laugh at that one though. They put in so much hours. So that is also another thing that just, I think any extracurricular.
Yeah. School had a bunch of them.
Where you had to put in the work, I think is going to be helpful in any growth in career because you have that same coaching mentality. So if you guys were in a sport or any kind of extracurricular that really helped get you ready to be a more valuable worker, comment down in the video and say what really helped you and why, if you want to. But that's all for me. Thank you for the time, Jared.
Yeah,
it's been a blast. And if you have questions about your mortgages, obviously Jared and I both have our information on the First Integrity Mortgage website. Give us a call, shoot us an email, do whatever you feel comfortable reaching out to us, and we'll be there to answer your questions. But until then, your nerd's going to go home.